How are you guys doing? André Bohall here with OnSite Real Estate Group. I have the latest numbers and I am here to tell you why, if you're selling your property, why you're having such a hard time getting it sold. Pierce County as a whole is seeing the average price point right around $590,000. Now that's just a touch higher than it was last year. If you head east to the East Pierce County, it actually moves up to $616,000. But all that tells us is that prices are holding steady. As far as active listings go, we're up about 24% year over year. Heading into the east side of Pierce County, it's a little bit higher at about 30%. Now, sellers in some areas do still have leverage. However, we are seeing a ton more leverage for the buyer, more than we've seen in several years going into this next phase of the real estate cycle. People ask me, Andre, what about the pace of the market? Things are taking about 36 days on average to sell. Last year was right around 29 days. Now, the important thing to note that is most sellers are getting around 97, 98% of their asking price. And it's a far cry and a large change from what we had seen in 21 and 22. So if you're wondering as a seller, why is my home not seeing the activity that I'd like it to see? Well, that's just the pace of the market right now. And in this market, marketing is king. All right, all you 2008 rememberers, we are not in a crash. The issue right now that we're seeing is actually a pivot. If you are able to think back through 2021 and 22, we had a hyperactive market, very, very unusual. And we saw about a 20% decrease going through 2023 and rebounded in 2024. People are holding on to their properties right now, mainly because they have low interest rates. So we're not seeing as much influx of inventory. Most people do not have to sell. And the people that are selling are serious, wanting to make sure that they move their product. So they're pricing it correctly. The ones that aren't priced correctly, either A, do not want to sell, or B, aren't marketed to sell. So the important thing to note is that we are in a balancing market. Some people call it a shifting market. We are mid pivot into that market, and that's what most of the home sellers are feeling right now. If you're a person in the market looking to purchase, you're in a house and you want to move up, or you are purchasing your first home, it is a great time and it's in a reasonable market. Things are not selling within the first 5 days in most instances. Now, most homes are no longer seeing the multiple offer situations, and homes that are selling in the first few days are either in a very, very desirable area, or they are in a lower price bracket where there is still a ton of activities. Anything under 500,000 is still having a pretty good opportunity to sell. So what's next? What can we expect going into the winter market? What we've seen every year is a slowing of listings hitting the market as we move into the winter time. The interest rates continue to persist between 6.5% and 7%, keeping a lot of buyers on the sideline. So we are probably going to see a more reasonable growth as far as the increase in percentage of home values, if any at all. Things are relatively flat right now, and they continue to remain that way as long as interest rates remain elevated. As we lose some inventory going into the winter market, we could also lose some buyers depending on where interest rates go. I would expect to have a slow wintertime moving into January. We will have, I think, a little bit of a squeeze on inventory, but not enough to create a significant demand in the marketplace. I'm André Bohall. This is OnSite Real Estate. If you have any questions about buying, selling, investing in real estate, or just general questions around the market, please reach out to us anytime. Thank you for your time.